A very good afternoon and a very good evening.
Very good evening.
How are you?
Doing fine. How are you?
You're fine? All right, very good. I was busy on the other page answering your questions, chatting with you, and then I realized, oh, it's 2 o'clock, so he must have joined. Well, thank you for joining. And yes, this is because this is a series which I started because there is so much interest and curiosity in consciousness. And yes, we somehow are correlating consciousness with the physical substrate that's called brain. And that's, I believe, a more popular theory, a more popular investigation going on around the world. Uh, there are a couple of names which I don't want to take right now, but then they're doing an amazing job, absolutely and amazingly. But then when you sent SOMU to me, and I took a couple of days, I must be very, very honest with you, it was something which I had never heard about. I had no idea that somebody is working, or there has been a history on a subneuronal level. Uh, Share the chat, share the link with them. 6 people. Okay. Just give me a moment. All right. I sent it to you. So, my first question to you is what's the reason you are looking at consciousness? Was it accidental interest, or do you think it was a systemic, a progressive, event in your life? Why consciousness?
Yeah, so actually, I never started or never wanted to do research on consciousness. I was
Right.
in 2000, but I wanted to make artificial brain. That's why I
Yeah.
I joined in NIMS and I started this project.
Yeah.
However, in 2008, a very accidental event happened in my life,
Uh-huh.
and that was I came across a paper of fourth
Uh-huh.
circuit element, the claim
Huh.
from
Huh.
uh, Hewlett Packard. Fourth circuit element is resistor, capacitor, inductor. They were
Yes.
discovered or invented 1850s, 1860s,
Yeah.
and um, and those uh, devices, if you see in a cyclic manner, then in a particular device was missing. That was
Uh-huh.
charge, stored charge, like register. It's a
Uh-huh.
voltage and current. In our
Yes.
secondary, we all study.
Yeah.
Capacitor is Q equal to CV. Stored charge is potential and capacitance. High magnetic flux is equal to Li,
Yeah.
inductance and current. So these are 1850, 1860s technology.
Right.
However, there is a charge and magnetic flux could be connected. Hmm.
Yes.
And and if we do that, then mm, uh, then what we can do is we can create many uh, mm, unique technologies. And charge
Right.
and magnetic flux, you can think that why is it so important? It's
Right.
important because magnetic flux by charge is
Uh-huh.
resistance, almost same dimension, but
Yeah.
it talks about the dimension of topology, resistance of topology or geometric shape. So for the
Yes.
first time, you enter into a domain of technology where
Uh-huh.
the integrity of a geometry comes
Uh-huh.
into effect. Hmm.
Uh-huh.
and and that was important. So what we do is, uh, so this claim was made in 2008. I saw the device and I found it's a sandwich structure.
Uh-huh.
So I found that this cannot be the fourth circuit element. This is certainly wrong. Certainly wrong. And I wrote a letter to Nature editor that sandwich type structure cannot do this. But then I
Uh-huh.
thought that why not I discover the fourth circuit element?
Okay.
So I thought that it will be a helical thing,
Yes.
helical wire, because
Yeah.
I have to generate magnetic flux, and I put insulators because I have to store charge. So literally, I took capacitors and then arranged it. And then I thought, am I the only person in the world who has got some intelligence? I mean, rest of the people are idiot or stupid. Then I found that, okay, Stuart Hameroff and Sir Roger Penrose, they have been talking about microtubule, a similar type of device responsible for consciousness. Then I found that, oh, I have to meet this person. So 2009, I went, I measured, I took single microtubule and measured the conductivity and then many other properties. Um, went to uh, Hong Kong to meet Stuart
I'm
Hammer.
wrong.
Hammeroff came there. Stuart
Uh-huh.
came there, and then
Uh-huh.
I met him,
Uh-huh.
and my journey started. So I also wanted to model the human brain, and then when I measured this single microtubule, I
Yeah.
found it has a, because I was from nanotechnology background, so I took the image and I applied frequency from the top to
Yeah.
resonantly vibrate. That's like a tuning fork, as if there is
Yeah.
a musical instrument.
Yes.
I found with music, this the quantum states start to dance.
Yes.
So I imaged it. The music and dance composition, I found a beautiful mathematical symmetry, and that was like triplet of triplet.
Very
Hmm.
well. Beautiful.
So that was my journey, and then I said that the whole universe should be triplet of triplet, and then I found that there will be many other mathematics, many other types of mathematics, and what I did
Right.
is I I took the numbers and then I found beautiful temple-like architecture, which is the cover
Yeah.
page of the book,
Yes.
and I say I started getting into the understanding of the brain because I found that there is a very unique problem with all consciousness theories.
Uh-huh.
Everyone, when I was kid and studying in India, our teacher told us that um, if you want to build a scientific theory, what you have to do is you take some elementary assumptions and you do some mathematical formulations, and finally you derive the the details of consciousness. However, um, mm, uh, if you all the consciousness theories, if you look into, you will find that um, they don't look in details. Mm. They don't look into the details. So what do they do is they um, they assume consciousness is fundamental and then derive consciousness.
Yeah.
So this is not
Yeah.
scientific. If you want to derive something and you start from consciousness, then what do? Nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I felt the need,
Because then the consciousness becomes your postulate. You are using
yeah,
consciousness as a postulate.
and to derive
You're not
consciousness.
verifying it. You're not verifying it. You're using it as a postulate. In
So
SOMU, you're not using it as a postulate. You're literally looking at what dance is creating a vibration that could be called consciousness. Am I correct so
yes,
far?
yes,
Right.
absolutely. So I thought that the biggest question, even before we start understanding consciousness, first time we need a self-operating mathematical universe, a mathematical framework or something that
Yeah.
has nothing to do with space, time, or physical
Right.
reality. It should be absolutely non-physical, mathematic, or geometric, and that one should operate by itself like an automaton, and that will be the framework for a system that operates by itself. Because I am talking to you today, right now, but there was no plan on which topic we will be talking about. For
Right.
example, we expect audience to be here, but the
Yeah.
link where the audience will join, we never took it out. Nobody knows this link,
Yes.
right? So,
Yes.
so, so like my friends were telling, okay, you are going to give Minaldar is going to take your interview, but he has not shared any link. And he's a truly conscious person. So he gives an advertisement in LinkedIn, but never shares a link. So I'm telling that we are going to have a live discussion, live with
Yeah.
whom? Between two of us.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so this is the beauty of consciousness, that um, we are totally unpredictable, and we do whatever we want to do. Every moment, these things come up in our mind, in our brain, and then what we do is we expand it.
Yeah. Now
So
this brings. Sorry, please continue. Please continue.
no, please tell.
Now, this brings a very important question, Anirban, and I'm sure you will appreciate the inquiry here. The inquiry is, how is it self operating? What
So
triggers the operation?
hmm, so we consider that first of all, the science of space-time is there
Yeah.
for hundreds of years, for more than a century. And what
Yes.
is happening in reality, what we see around us, in Vedic wisdom, these are all called Maya, this
Yes.
space-time reality that we have.
Yes.
However, however, the Vedas or all these scriptures, 50% of this is Maya and 50% is the Sankhya Darshan, where it says a set of numbers and integers in their pattern, they
Yeah.
create, they arrange in a way that they create this universe, govern this universe. So already there was a framework that was established in the name of Purusha. So
Yes.
Purusha is kind of a mathematical framework proposed by Maharshi Kapil, and then the duality of Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is the non-physical six dimensions, three
Yes.
dimensions of in SOMU we say three dimensions of morphogenesis. That means uh, three dimensions of space, three dimensions of time, three dimensions of morphogenesis, three dimensions of prime. So Einstein said space-time duality, space and time together, and we say no, space-time topology prime together. A quadrat is a unit. So you don't you do not separate space and time. Now we are saying that space-time topology prime, you don't separate any of the four
Yeah.
or all of them. Hmm. So
So, yeah. Go on. Please go on. Yeah.
no, please.
No, no, no. Please carry on. I'm liking this
Okay,
chain of
so
thought. Please carry on.
now we had to come up with a concept that how could we create. Now, if you see cover page of the book that
Yeah.
um, you have given, so um, so so suppose you have a thread, and somebody asks you to create an universe, then take the philosophy of Vedic wisdom. It's very easy.
Yeah.
And Jat Pindate Tat Brahmande, Jat Brahmande Tat Pindate. That means where there is a point, there is the whole universe,
Yeah.
and where there is the whole universe, there is a point.
Beautiful. Yes. I.
So, so I have to enter inside a point to
uh,
find the whole universe. So I am a god. I want to create the universe. I have a
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Now, to create a scientific theory, always we have to remember that self-operating mathematical universe means I have zero assumption. How do I do that? So I have a point and I add arbitrary number of points into it. Then
Yeah.
that point that I started becomes undefined.
Yeah.
So I take nothing from anybody. I give nothing from anybody. I remain within the point. Point is undefined. Now when I have arbitrary number of points, n equal to n plus 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now only thing I know is arranging those number of, say, I have clocks, entities, anything. I will arrange it. Like 6, 2 into 3, I can take 2, 2, 2, or I can take 3, 3. In this way, if I take x-axis as integers, y-axis as number of choices, I rotate it, I get a temple-like architecture. So I got
Yes.
it, the mathematical architecture of Purusha. So I reject the probability theory, that is in integrated information theory, IIT, and also I reject global workspace theory or any theory of consciousness, because now I have a point. In a point, I have the mathematical probability of all symmetries. So I say prime means symmetry. You cut it by half, C2 symmetry. C2 symmetry, C2 symmetry. 50% of the structures have C2 symmetry. You see
Yes.
flowers with three petals, C3 symmetry, C5, C7. And if you know the prime symmetries, prime number of oscillators you have, and you couple them their vibrations, you can generate all possible vibrations of the universe. Like 50% of the vibrations will have C2 symmetry, 16% will have C3. Then you take C5, C7, and go on adding their contribution. You will find by the time you reach 47, 15th prime only, you reach the beautiful architecture of all possibilities, 86% possibilities. That means if I make an object, say, I take I take this an object and I
Yeah.
fill it with make it with 15 primes, then it will
Yeah.
be a musical instrument, and it can emulate whatever the vibration you generate anywhere in the universe with 86% accuracy. So if I take, say, so I I started. I try to understand that mhm, how could we integrate this particular mathematical architecture into the understanding of the universe. So I have this temple-like architecture, mathematical symmetries, and prime is my symmetries. So we physicists learn that universe is governed by symmetry breaking. So I have to break
Yes.
the symmetry. I have to break the symmetry to jump from one symmetry to another, to another, to another. Hmm. And and that journey happens to the surface of this temple architecture. Okay, so this is the Purusha, and then you walk through the surface of Purusha, and you realize thing. So then I needed another concept, that is Kala Chakra.
Right.
In the Kala Chakra, this is time, no, cycle of time,
Cycle of time. Cycle of
cycle,
time. Right.
cycle of time.
Yeah.
So, um, so in the Western world, the time
Mm.
is linear. So you have past, present, and future. Time goes
Yeah.
in a line. That's
Yeah.
why Einstein had three dimensions of space: X, Y, Z, and T. Fourth dimension was time.
Right.
However, in India, we Hindus have always time is a cyclic. So that's why we say Kala Chakra.
Yes.
Everything that goes comes back.
Yes.
And then that's why we have got this Kali.
Huh.
And Kala Bhairav is Shiva. And Shiva
Yeah.
dances to create many architectures of clocks. So
Yeah.
if I have have a ball, have a sphere, Babaji, let me take a ball and explain this. Say I have a ball,
Yes.
and you are rotating all around it. So it's a
Yes.
clock. So you can take
Yes.
different size balls of one after another and create a 3D assembly.
Yeah.
And what you can do is you can create the whole um, architecture
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
um, whole architecture of time. So many,
Yes.
many, many clocks and something like that. So this is clock like this is fourth dimension, but we have this kind of clock architectures is like this. Now,
Yeah.
third concept that you need, so this is Kala Chakra,
Yes.
and its symmetries are like 64 yogis and 64 yoginis. So the concept came from Shiva's Nataraja dance of 108, and then you create different Kala Chakras. So that's why for every single god we have this 3D architecture of clocks.
Yes.
So this
Yes.
we call polyatomic time crystals. So we measured in neuron, we measured in proteins
Can
and
you
vibration.
please repeat that? Which one is it? What kind of clock is it called?
We named it polyatomic time crystal.
Okay, polyatomic. Okay.
Polyatomic time crystal. So different sizes clocks. And
Okay.
then we measured it in proteins, in protein complexes, neuron, and then we published it. That how the atomic time crystal concept would be. And we took every single single component of the brain and spinal cord, interneural network, and then we created a database of brain rhythms.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Yes.
So what we built is a complete model of the whole human brain.
Yes.
So
Now,
so
I
this
am
is it.
going to make a
So
very, I'm going to make a very wild inference here because I have been, I have been studying you for the past couple of days, your research and hearing the videos, your interviews. One thing that struck me again and again and again is I must ask you, and of course I would request you to explain the geometry at the sub neuronal level and how it integrates with the entire NCC. But one inference that comes to my mind again and again: do does the feeling of time or the Kala Chakra, does it change at various frequencies of microtubules? If one arrangement of microtubules, as you're stating, is helical in nature, and other one is more dense, will the relative densities affect Kala Chakra?
no, Kala Chakra,
No.
as I said, that we create a self-operating mathematical universe based on the
Yeah.
symmetries. See what
Yes.
Sankhya Darshana has laid down, that you don't see anything.
Yes.
How many number of elements doesn't matter. So it is total antithesis of the Western science. In the Western
Right.
science, you have more number of switches, more number of memory. That is the foundation of Turing machine. You have more number of memory,
Yes.
so it is more powerful. So all
Yes.
computers in the universe are same, and except that they have a different memory. However,
Okay. Well,
every single non-Turing machine that we are advocating, the fractal machines or
yes.
machines following the duality of Purusha and Prakriti, that is a Kapila
Yes.
Arushi theorem that was pre-Vedic era. So pre-Rig Ved
Okay.
era, Kapila Arushi theorem came,
Yes.
and then based on that, every single non-computer is different. Every single non-computer is different. You are different, I'm different, everybody is different. Because how many
Right.
symmetries and how are we putting together, how are you making journey through the surface of the temple architecture, of this mathematical architecture,
Yes.
that
Yes.
that determines mm, the strength and of the non-computer of the system, the decision making system that we are trying to build. So the
Okay.
third concept that I say that is required, apart from, we call it phase prime metric or temple like architecture of primes or all
Yes.
possibilities, which
Yes.
reject the probability hypothesis that is going on since 1930 1940s,
Uh-huh.
and no statistics, because we take all possible combinations on the
Yeah.
temple surface. So we
Yes.
do not take observation based thing. I have an
Right.
archive, and based on that archive of all possible symmetries, I look at the universe. So it's the other
Okay.
way around, not observation, take, and then analyze. No. So
Yes.
human factor is neglected. That's why self-operating mathematical universe. So the second part was polyatomic time
So
crystal.
you
That
are not studying the phenomenon. You are studying what triggers it. You're studying the source of it.
yes, yes. So like that's why I say Turing machine, that whose fundamental philosophy is every single information in the whole universe is actually can be written on a tape. So this is like a tape. So
Yeah.
that one is reading Maya. So with observation, what you get, and then you put it on a line. We
Yeah.
say, who creates Maya? We see them. So we are
Yeah.
orthogonal to the Turing tape. So one cell
Yeah.
of a Turing tape, you go within and within and within, and
Yeah.
a cell in a Turing tape, you go above, 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 and above. So it's
Yeah.
an orthogonal journey. It's not
Yes.
opposite. It's
Yes.
orthogonal journey. So then we are undefined to them. They are
Yes.
undefined to us.
Absolutely.
So So now what happens is polyatomic time crystal or this redefine the definition of time, because now time is a bits and pieces of particles like this, and then
Mhm.
small, bigger, and then we self-assemble them, create architecture of time, something
Mhm.
like that we have been doing for thousands of years. That's why you find that Hindus are the only people in the world who
Mhm.
have created so many Chanda Shastra, the rhythm, book of rhythms.
Yes.
So every century we have tons and tons of them. Even now, this last 100 years, if you see, we have created so many books, so many scholarly books on rhythms. We never left it. 10,000 years back, we started with Shiva, this kind of dances, 108 forms of. Even now, Sivanandana is the 108 beat tala. If you see the
Yes.
Western world, it's a 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4. But
Yeah.
for us, if you have learned tabla, 17 beats,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, up to 17, and then
Yeah.
18 one would come back. Then
Yeah.
there is 23,
Again
53.
cyclical. Again
Yeah,
cyclical.
yeah. But for us, up to 108,
Huh.
and then you come back. So you
You
have
come back.
all 108 possibilities. Shiva's dance form 108. And then, I was shocked when first time I was presenting the microtubule result. Triplet of triplet, and each band, triplet means three bands,
Hmm.
kilohertz, megahertz, gigahertz, and each one had three bands. So
Hmm.
nine total. 9 into 12, each band, 12 frequencies. So total 108.
Hmm.
108 frequency. So when I presented this, a person came up,
So
a giant.
108 frequencies within a particular structure of microtubules.
Yes, not only microtubules, in tubulin proteins, in neurons, everywhere. I was started seeing them everywhere. And then
You
I
saw that
realized that
actually. So
I
you
measured
saw
it.
that.
I measured it. And 2011 and 12, I was presenting it. And when I was presenting it, a Jain person came and then gave me a book. The title of the book is 108. And he told me, why not you see it? If you want to understand India, if you are an Indian, if you want to understand India, you need to understand 108. We have then I called my mother and I asked him that really you know 108. Well, yeah, in Durga Puja we use 108 lotus, and Rama couldn't have only got 107 lotus. That's why
Yeah,
his puja was incomplete. So he took his eyes and then gave it, because
give it.
108 is kind of a number you have to complete it. So
Because it 108 is an important number because the structure is like that. If you want a
yeah,
complete
yeah.
cycle, you need 108.
108. Yeah, triplet of triplet, a one
Yeah.
band. And then I started phase prime metric, plotting all possible choices. And I found in 12, I get first triplet. Then I have to make triplet of triplet. So 12 into 9, 108. So mathematically, I derived why 108 fundamentally necessary to
My God.
build a structure that could be self-operating. So my journey started, and then I wanted to tell you three things. The first thing is phase prime metric, the temple like structure of from the prime symmetries, all possible choices. Then polyatomic time crystal or kala chakra architecture of time. And then third thing was loka. Loka means universe or
Yes.
dimensionality. So
Yes.
I feel very much pain when I see that people say that Hindus have been talking about 1,000 dimension, 4,000 dimension, 5,000 dimension. No, 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 no. We have not been. We know very well dimension is. So for Western world, for an example, if you go to quantum mechanics, you have a phase sphere and you have vectors coming out. And these vectors orient in very different angles. Now, these different angles, we can each different angle the things come out is one dimension, one particular representation of a dimension. Another concept of dimension is I go orthogonal. I x-axis, y-axis, g-axis, and then x-y-g orthogonal. But Hindus, we have different. As I said, Jat Pindate Tat Brahmande Tat Pindate. So you have to go within and above. That's why we have Loka, concept of Loka, and we go within and above. Patala Loka. Patala Loka is the fastest universe in that is there out there. And then we have 14 layers of Loka, 7 layers of Aroho, 7 layers of Avaroho, and Swarga Loka is the Satya Loka is in the top 14th. Like that's why we have created the concept of raga, the music, and the
And
Sare
and
Gama Pada
and aren't these
Sanida.
lokas and aren't these lokas also supposed to be self-operating because they are within the helix structure?
Yes. So this Loka concept you have to take, because now you have to take fate sphere and you have to find a singularity,
Yeah.
a black dot where nothing exists, and you have to go inside. That's the only mathematical structure we create. So now I started developing a new type of mathematics to integrate concept of Loka, and then we created brain jelly, organic jelly structure, which grows fractally from above to implement this concept of Loka. And we created the whole human brain model and published it, um, based on this Loka concept. Because in SOMU, self-operating mathematical universe, we have singularities. So you have to find singularity and go. Like space-time singularity is mass. So you have to
Yes.
find fate singularity is time. So you find many type of singularities, and you create the universe. So universe is not made of 0 1 qubit or bit. It's a polyatomic time crystal, and then you find singularities over there. So reality doesn't exist in the universe, because as I said, I take one point to create the universe. I have an automaton adding arbitrary number of points into a single atom. So point becomes undefined. So that means universe doesn't exist. So in
Yeah.
principle, I'm not taking anything, any liability from the universe. So this concept of Loka I started, and then I took different properties of Loka that is over there to create. I'm working on grand unification theory from SOMU. How my that is my future research direction.
Could
I
you
would
repeat the theory, please?
grand unification theory, GUT, grand unification theory, or
Okay.
or or how can we explain different things of um, uh, different concepts of standard model and quantum field theory and other things. So can we explain there? So this is what is going on. So these three things:
You
pattern of
just
times.
uh,
Hmm.
uh, yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Now
So
you're firing my
this
neurons right now. Okay, just give me a moment. I'm requesting you because you provided me a wealth of information which has never been heard of. I've never heard of the structure in the manner you have explained till now. I have a very important question. Where did you find this singularity in the NCC or within a neuron at a subneuronal level? Were you able to find the singularity?
Yes. So I had to create the elementary device for the universe. That
Yes.
I did very early, 2008, 2000. I told you helical symmetry is the
Yes.
fundamental symmetry of the universe. So I
Right.
rejected transistor, switch, and all these kind of devices and circuits and everything.
Yeah.
Now I took helix, and then helix will grow and different kind of vortices will form. So even the
Yes.
elementary particle too there. Then I created the mathematics, and then I found that uh, so Satta Raja Tama, three different qualities are there, and Hindus say that Brahman, or the vibration, makes matter and everything. So
Yeah.
Charvaka's debate was there in the early Vedic period, when he challenged that matter should be fundamental, and
Yes.
um, and um, wave or vibration should be all around. And then Vedic Bhavvadis, it was Bostuvadis, so this is materialistic view. And then the spiritualistic view, they say that mm, it will encompass. It will encompass. Mass will be inside, and it will be fluctuation, radiation coming out. So I took a helical thing, and then three orthogonal direction. I created three waveform. Say cos x, like sin x, or a waveform, another waveform, another waveform. And if you take sum of cos x 3 times plus sum of product of cos x, why product and sum? In the universe, there are two types of events. Hmm. So like, look at the structure of ohm. You
Yes.
take a point and you go anti-clockwise, you go
Yes.
clockwise, and
Yes.
then you go clockwise and anti-clockwise superposition. So
Yes.
you need three types of events, and that's why ohm structure comes. So now,
Yeah.
if you see the product of sattva rajatama is constituting everything when sattva equal to raja equal to tama, or
Yeah.
tama means bonding, any type of bonding. So two
Yeah.
particles come together,
Yes.
bonding, love, affection, hate, whatever.
Yeah.
Then raja means transformation. Triangle becomes a square, becomes cube, or this kind of geometric transformations. So that is raja. And then finally, there was sattva guna, or 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 you have many geometric series, shapes of geometric shapes series, and you go
Yeah.
up to infinity and take back the feedback from infinity and associate. So that is sattva guna. So going to infinity and bringing it back. So you see the fundamental difference of SOMU's fractal tape with the Turing tape. So in Turing machine, you go to a single cell and put
Yeah.
0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. But
Yes.
in fractal tape for SOMU, what we need is looking at all the cells going to infinity and bringing it back. See the feedback, sattva. Transform and then see, go to infinity, bring it back. See the position. Bond with different things, go to infinity and bring it back. So these three fundamental properties of the helical symmetries are actually bonding them together and building it up. So what I did when I measured microtubule or different helical nanowires, I pumped with electromagnetic wave and we looked at the vortex that is generated, optical vortex. So I used a non-demolition technique. So when I was doing my PhD in Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, Kolkata, then I always had a question that I should not be hitting hard to the normal devices. Hmm.
Mm.
Because normal current way of doing science is you take a device, you
Mm.
hit it hard, it will scream. You harder, it will scream louder. You harder, it will scream louder.
Mm.
And in x-axis you plot how hard you hit and how
Mm.
loud he screams. And then you
Yeah.
fit it a curve, and then with a function, and then you call this is the reality of nature.
Mm.
I believed that I should pump a little pattern of frequencies to it. It would listen to my song, and whenever it wants, then it will respond. I will wait.
Mm.
And this is how I will try to do so. So when I came here, I started doing this kind of philosophy, devising the instruments and what. So I did the measurement on helical nanowire. I found that this sum of cos x and product. So sum and product means I will see only phase or dasa, and and sum means amplitude. That means who is opposite phase, same phase, or clockwise superposition state. So this way they come together and create the reality for the universe. So if you plot
I'm
this,
I'm
this
requesting you to explain sum and product again. I'm
okay.
requesting you, please.
Yeah. So, there are two events in the universe. Okay. So
Yes.
if you have the waveforms and others, either there will be product and there
Yeah.
will be sum.
Yeah.
When sum means we take addition or subtraction. So that means
Yeah.
waveforms come together, then cancel out each other, superpose, or do something. Or all the forms you take product. So that, for an example, e to the power x plus e
Yeah.
to the power y into e to the power y into e to the power z. That means
Yeah.
e to the power x plus y plus z. What does it mean? You add the phase, not the amplitude itself. So in the
Oh.
other dimension, you do
Yeah.
something. So when these
Yeah.
two events come together, and we plot
Yeah.
them, we got a beautiful sphere or dodecahedron or icosahedron, and we have 12 holes all around. That's singularity. So we observed it. So that we call the elementary device, and that device or elementary this fate sphere, a big football with 12 holes all around it.
Yes. Yes.
So this 12 hole sphere is the constructing or constituent element of the whole universe. Hmm. So that's we saw, and we patented it as a Hindactor because I inspired by the Hindu philosophy. So it's a
Yes.
Hindactor.
Yeah. So that means we don't need states of consciousness to understand consciousness. We need the
Yes,
building blocks.
yes. So we need first these mathematical structures to make a system that is self-operational, whom does not require any humans to operate.
Hmm.
So that is the starting point of understanding consciousness. Then we came up with the concept of resonance chain.
Hmm.
Resonance chain means from the smallest to the largest, say 14 locus are connected by
Hmm.
frequencies, triplet or triplet, triplet or triplet, triplet or triplet.
Yeah.
Different time domain, because you know in 14 locus you have to go slower and slower and slower and slower as you go above.
Yes.
You go
Yes.
bottom faster and faster and faster and faster.
Yes. Yeah.
So when you have this kind of resonance chain, suppose you are made of 15 primes, I am made of 15 primes. And then
Hmm.
what happens? I can lock on to this resonance chain. You can lock on to the resonance chain and you can study the universe. I can study the universe. And
Hmm.
as I explained mathematically, when you have
Hmm.
15 symmetries, 86% accuracy, you can understand whatever concept I generate and whatever
Hmm.
concept you generate. And at a
Yeah.
particular mathematical structure, we have found in SOMU that when you have 12 triplet of triplet bands, then 2 into 2 into 3, 12 you can rewrite 2 into
Hmm.
2 into 3, 2 into 3 into 2, 3 into 2 into 2. So there could be three Anirbans. When there could be three Anirbans, there could be duality between the two Anirbans, and third one can confirm, okay, there is a duality. So
Yes.
consciousness is generated. So then
Yes.
what can happen is I can lock on to the resonance chain and delocalize at different parts of the resonance chain. That is
Hmm.
what I call consciousness. So consciousness means ability of a machine to create multiple replicas of entire information structure and conversation between those replicas. That is consciousness. So we have a very clear mathematical strict definition of consciousness that enables you to walk along the resonance chain, universal resonance chain that is connecting smallest to largest of this universe.
You are making a very bold point here, Dr. Anirban. You're making a very bold point here. Am I?
Hmm.
Uh, okay, so if that is what consciousness is, where what is I mean, does qualia really exist? Is there an experiencer that is talking to you right now? I'm experiencing something. This subject who thinks is Mrinal and who thinks there is an experience going on, where is this person in the whole structure you have explained to me just now?
As I said, that when you bring in different kind of resonators with phase prime
Yeah.
metric or pattern of primes, you reconstruct it, then
Yeah.
you have this structure, but these three vibrational modes are complete information structures. Now, what
Yes.
happens is any subjective experience that you have,
Yeah.
pain, grief, or something. So
Hmm.
we invented a machine called duodecanogram. We put it on the brain,
Hmm.
and then we take signals.
Hmm.
So, and normally 1875 EEG was invented.
Hmm.
EEG,
Yes.
electroencephalogram. And then
Yes.
it is 1 hertz to 40 hertz. We have invented a machine 1 hertz to 1000 hertz, kilohertz, megahertz, gigahertz, terahertz, entire. And then we have found that in the megahertz region, there is a region when you have subjective experiences, there are some geometric pattern that emerge and that remains unchanged for different humans. I have written a whole book me and Tanusri, Professor Tanusri, that together we wrote a book. We carried out studies on the human subjects with DDG, 289 human subjects, and we measured those uh, those uh, those things.
So are those frequencies
Are
uh,
those geometric shapes? Geometric
geometric
shapes are
shapes?
made of clocks. For an
Yeah,
example, three clocks are there.
yeah.
For an example, I make a song. Ding, 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 ding. It's a same side, so equilateral triangle. But if I want to make an obtuse angle, then I say ding, 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 ding. So your brain can perceive this triangle is something obtuse, and if I make it equal time gap, then you get the triangle. So using geometric invariance, we have mapped um, nearly more than 93 different qualia experiences, and we have published it in this book, in this emotion cognition and the mysteries of, of the brain.
So, correct me if my inference is not going in the right direction. The inference I'm making here is that brain has some geometric shape over there which allows the whole structure to feel like a person, because that is how you will be able to uh, make communication possible and protect yourself. Is that the reason there is a geometric shape for feeling like a person, feeling like an experiencer?
So first of all, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in absoluteness anywhere.
Okay.
So the first thing is that every single experience of sadness, pain, or something is that is kind of a cosmic experience
All
that you
right.
have. So it is, of course, there are some individual element of memory into it, but there are
Yes.
some geometric invariants or shapes that is fundamental to your to the experience that you have. So I also have similar pain, you have pain, and then other people have pain. So there are some part of it is geometric shapes of similarity. Geometric shapes, not one shape. Set of geometric shapes in a 3D arrangement that could reflect pain. But we have found there are 12 different classes of human subjects who experiences very different way. So we took thermal camera and imaged on the face. Hmm. And we found that you get a very different kind of image from different kind of humans. Hmm. So we carried out and we found that some people have very bright eyes, heat coming out. Some people have a very bright nose. Some people have absolutely cold nose, absolutely blue and dark. And then when the person gets angry, different part of the face becomes brighter and something. With the thermal camera, your emotions are much more prevalent, but you cannot use any AI tool to detect that. It's very difficult because 7 or 8 different types of classifications. So human oriented or human specific classes of qualia experiences are there, but that could be 7 or 8 major different classes. And because of the memory and then the structural changes in your body and then features, you experience every single, say, pain or any other subjective experiences little differently than others. So redness for you is different because of the huge memories that is associated. But redness associated with the mm, with the unequivocal expressions of the youth, that is kind of there. So your golden yellow expresses joy and celebration is always there. Black blue is kind of a fear, mysticism is always there. Grief with the black is always there. I draw a square that makes you happy. I make a cross like this. You feel disappointed. So all these in geometric invariants I have listed in the entire book.
The book you have written, I think you have written one. Is that the book you're talking about? The one which you shared with
No,
me?
No, no. And the first book that I wrote in 2020, that one was about my entire journey: phase prime
Hmm,
metric, polyatomic time crystal, complete model of the human brain,
hmm,
brain jelly, new type of computing, and all this kind of thing. Then the
hmm.
second book I wrote was biophysics, how electromagnetism and biofields are related.
Hmm.
Third book I have written this March came out is on emotion cognition, on the DDG, dodecanogram. So entire
Yes,
500 page complete documentation of our research.
beautiful. And I believe all the three books are not available on Amazon because I tried to find them.
All of No, 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 no. All of them are available in Amazon.
They are available on Amazon. Okay. Uh, Now, when you talk about emotion and cognition, I have always been led to believe, and I found it very coherent. That comes from doctors, Mark Johnson and George Lakoff's whole research here. Again, in a different direction altogether. But I always believe schemas have a great role to play in meaning making. I mean, that's what I always thought. I don't know whether you agree with that or you find any resonance in that direction. But schemas play an important role. For example, in Dr. V.S. Ramachandran's experience, when he came across patients with xenomania, he found that the need for amputation was there because the body map is missing in the parietal lobe. Now, how much of body is important for the brain in terms of schemas to create meaning? I'm talking about the material
As I
meaning.
as I said, you see, you find the answer of your question in beautiful experiences of yoga. So different yoga or yogis. I have started a YouTube channel on Vedic wisdom, on
Yes,
science, Vedic science. So I explained it over there. For an example, you will find different yogis take different pose and start their sadhana to
yes,
increase, to transform their body, make it a better sensor so that they can sense the anahata. Anahata means unheard. So our sensory system has a limit, and we Hindus have made 10,000 years of journey and documented journey,
right.
perfected to transform our body into making a better sensor. So I will look at you and I can tell something about your past and something about your future. So I go beyond this temporal architecture and I should be able to sense it. So many other things are there. So bat has a ultrasound way of communication. I should be able to hear it. Birds have something and the trees speak. So I should be able to get nature more, and that is the path to liberation or moksha, when my sensors don't dictate me and govern my observation. So the geometric shapes have certainly how the geometry of my body and is created. I have nothing to do about it, but genetically I get the kind of sensor that my structure has created, that I found from the research. Uh, I mean, humans have very little to do. Some are born like that. Mhm. Why, how, that needs to be seen. But their whole transformation and sensing ability is very different. Look at a thermal camera and you see the transformations, the electromagnetic signaling, synchronization ability with others. Very different. Each human has a very unique combination. And I strongly believe that you have made a very brilliant question. The geometric structure of your body, brain system, and then others have a profound influence on your sensing ability of the environment, nature, and this science has not been explored. Very unfortunate. We need to do this. We have done very surface level study, whatever the book I have written, but there is huge plethora of knowledge. Actually, human psychology was very like non-scientific. We have made
Yes,
the first atom to make it scientific.
yes, yes. Is that the reason why Patanjali Sutra was so important in in those times? Because when you create shapes in your body, you are definitely creating schemas out there for your brain to create meanings that will.
I uh, by schema, what do you want to mean?
So, for example, when
You are
you are.
creating different geometric. Yeah, please.
Yes. So, for example, when you are growing up and you see in a glass of water, you see when you pour water, the water increases. So, when things are going up, it means more. Okay, when you are in your body and you're an infant and you are trying to use your legs to get up on your legs, you feel and you see that you're growing up. So vertical schema becomes an important part of viewing the world. Anything that rises is more, right? This is a schema that helps your brain to uh, form a meaning.
No, no, in our, we have created artificial brain, organic jelly-based system over here to
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
the consciousness. And I would like
yeah.
to tell you that mm, it's not brain that is alive; it's your whole body part that is alive. Your brain is
Ah,
not located inside your skull. Your interspinal cord, interneural network is the brain. You are the brain. Whole body is the brain.
you are the brain. Okay, you are the brain.
Whole
So,
body.
so whole body, whole body. Okay, and that is why you keep talking about structures. You're talking about those helical structures which are
So,
throughout
so
your
to me,
body.
this is to me these two hands, two legs, and my body is five-fold symmetry. C5,
Hmm, hmm.
and then
And
five.
since,
So five
yeah,
cross five. So I have five again. My
yeah,
five
yes.
partners in the field.
And since the gross of is the sum of all the structures you just mentioned at the subneuronal and the level, that's how you identify yourself with what you see right now in the body. Yeah. Now that I
Mhm.
believe is what you call tamas, the attachment, the bond with the body is your tamas. So do you agree
Not with
with
the
me
body.
that
No, 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 no.
within the body?
Tamas, Tama, Raja, and Sattva is because without Tama you can't create universe. Tama is the most important thing. So Tama is not with the body. Tama is a bond with everything to everything. I
Okay.
have I have bonding with you by the brain interactions through electromagnetic wave that is happening over here. Tama, you are changing your views because many of the thoughts that you are listening from me is resonating with your subconscious thought, and you have always believed that this should be the case. Then you are changing yourself, Raja, and then you are listening to me, and then your background knowledge and my knowledge, entire thing, and you are expanding it to the horizon with all the knowledges and taking a feedback from the infinity, and then you are feeling the whole in your part, Sattva. So as we have always argued, not we Hindus have argued for thousands of years that Sat, we have a clock, and Sattva, Rajatama, all of them are continuously expanding and contracting,
Hmm.
and that's how the universe works
and they
everywhere
are
at
through
every scale.
and they are throughout your body, right?
No, 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 no. Not just your body,
They are
everything
everywhere.
around you.
Everything,
Everything.
everything.
You are not alone. I mean, you don't live alone. Your life is your consciousness doesn't exist if alone. Many part of
Okay.
your time crystals are polyatomic time crystals are with your wife, with your son, with your daughter, friends, everybody. You have shared experiences. Even now, you're not alone. A physical body cannot be conscious.
So that is where the
I cannot be
cons.
conscious.
Yeah,
I am
yeah, yeah.
Anirban, and with hundreds of people with whom I am connected.
Yes. So that's where the concept of non-local consciousness. Okay. Okay. Non-local consciousness. Uh, Dr. Saab, before I wind up for today, I have two important questions for you. Question number one: you have explained consciousness in such a detailed manner that whoever is listening to us, wherever they are, they're going to spend a considerable amount of time uh, cogitating upon it and, of course, reading your books. My number one question is, if you have to really give a definition of consciousness in one sentence, what would it be?
I have already told it in your program. I'm repeating that because even if I am asked thousands of times, there will be only
Yeah.
one answer. That
Yeah.
is, when a machine or a set of an entity like me, whatever be the entity is able to generate at least three distinct superposition of entire structures who can interact and link themselves, at least three I have said, then that object will be conscious if they are following uh, the the Purusha, the mathematics of Purusha, temple-like structure of Purusha.
And they're able to replicate it, as you said, right?
Replicate? No, 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 no. It's not
Is it?
replication.
Yeah.
So you are there, Minaldhar.
Uh,
Three Minaldhars are there, but they are very
yeah.
different
Yes.
because 2 into 3, 2 into 3 into 2, 3 into 2 into 2, the whole symmetry is different, but they
Yeah.
together generate the whole resonance body. So one body is producing three identities, independent information structure. Normal materials cannot. If I measure it, it will have only one.
Yes.
But if you have a three complete structure of your ppm, three ppms are generated, phase parametric, or the entire symmetry structure of information is generated, and they can interact. So three minaldhars, creation of three minaldhars doesn't make you conscious. Three minaldhars can interact among
Intellect.
themselves and edit each other. Then you are conscious, because you can walk through the resonance chain. You can do many wonderful things. You can go to, you are now can in Japan, you can go to your home, you can go to America, and then you stay there and then evaluate things.
And what tool do you use to measure this? To understand whether a particular machine is conscious? You said you talked about a tool to
Duodecanogram.
understand.
Duodecanogram. So
No technique.
I try to see 12 different time domain in your brain body system, 12 different time
Yeah.
domain you are
Uh,
operating at a time. So that is
yeah.
difference in conventional science and my science. In conventional science, what you do is you measure in the same time domain where you are
Yes.
pumping,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we measure in a completely different. I pump you at say millisecond, but I will look at it for hours, years. I will look at it microsecond, nanosecond, picosecond, everywhere, and that time variation, when I look at it, I will see you. That's our science. So that's the instrument required to pro consciousness.
Beautiful. And one last question. Uh,
Hmm.
to understand SOMU and your new theory that you're propounding now, what should be the order of reading your books? Should we go as
I
you have
have
published?
no, because more I'm learning, I'm publishing. So there is a recent paper that we have published, article is artificial general intelligence on revisiting self-operating mathematical universe, and it is free in ResearchGate, so anybody can get ResearchGate. All of our papers are free. So the latest paper on SOMU is alone sufficient to
Fantastic.
understand whole of it.
Fantastic. I'll be pulling it up and reading it for myself and sharing with everybody in my network. Thank you so much, Dr. Saab. It's really been an enlightening hour with you. I'm really blessed, and I welcome everybody to please pay attention to what you have said. And yes, I would request you whenever you have time, and we can coordinate. I would like to listen more to you in terms of what Vedic science is all about. All right. Are you able to hear me, Doctor?
Absolutely.
Okay, then. Thank you so much. And you have my dhanyavad. You have my eternal gratitude. Thank you very much.